This is my mushroom soup with a bacon and Gruyere crouton.
You will need chestnut mushrooms, potato, onion, dash of double cream, veg stock and thyme. And for the crouton, French stick, clarified butter, bacon and Gruyere cheese. And we'll be finishing the dish with a sprinkle of parsley. So, first of all, let's get a pan on. So get some olive oil, take an onion and just want to do a rough dice, and on a low heat, we just want to gently cook off until softened. Right, now I want to get another pan on, and this is going to be for our mushrooms. Now I'm using chestnut mushrooms, I love the taste of them. They've got a really strong, earthy flavour, perfect for a soup. Before I add the mushrooms into the onions, I want to get some colour into them. So I'm going to fry them off so they soften and get a little bit of caramelisation on them. And the way to do this is just do a few at a time. So what people tend to do with mushrooms is put them all in a pan at once. And this does nothing but steam them and make them soggy. So I'm going to fry them in batches, just a few at a time, just to get some really good colour at really high heat. Now, of course, you can use a variety of different mushrooms, but try and go for the strongest possible flavours. Really get a good punch to your soup. So once they start to go a lovely golden colour, just add to the onions. Now, I'm not going to be using all the mushrooms, because I want to save a few for the crouton. Next, a potato. So I'm adding a potato because it's going to help thicken the soup and give it a bit more body. And I want the soup to cook quite quickly, so I'm just going to cut it into small chunks. So I'm now going to turn up the heat and add the veg stock. And you want enough to completely cover the mushroom, onions and potatoes. And look at this is just a beautiful base. So bring up to the boil, put a lid on and cook for 10 minutes or just until the potatoes are cooked. And what I want to do now is to start to blend it. So with a ladle, oh, this does smell good. Add it to the blender. And you don't want to put too much in the blender because I want it all to puree perfectly. So probably do it in about 2 to 3 batches. So it's nicely blended down. Now I want to pass it. So into another pan, just start to pour out. With a spatula, I'm just going to start to work this soup through. I want this to be super smooth. And I can see this is quite a thick soup. I'm going to let it down with a bit more veg stock. I'm going to return the soup just to very low heat and then add some double cream. And the cream is going to lighten the colour of the soup and add a lovely richness. I've not seasoned it yet. It's really important to season at the end. Get some salt, some pepper, give a stir. Now let's add some thyme, just for some fresh herbiness. I'm just going to put the soup on a low heat just to warm through. Now we can start with the crouton. So take a pan and just add the bacon to it. There's no need for a clean pan, just do it in the same pan as the mushrooms. Let's keep all the flavours going. And the bacon I'm using is smoked lardons. So the bacon starts to cook away, let's get the mushrooms ready. Now I kept some mushrooms aside. I'm just going to chop these into little cubes. All these flavours, you think mushroom, bacon, cheese, great, great flavours. So the bacon's now nice and crispy. Just going to empty out into a bowl. Then in the lovely bacon fat, start to cook our mushrooms off. And we can now add a little bit of the clarified butter to help these mushrooms along a bit. Add some salt, pepper, and a few sprigs of thyme. And that smells amazing. So let's just put them in with the bacon, give it a little mix, and just put to one side till needed. So now for the crouton. And what I want to do is I want to make a really long crouton just to sit on the side of the bowl. Then on a tray, and I'm going to brush with butter on both sides. Now I'm just going to pop onto the grill to get a lovely golden colour on the bread. So that's our crouton, lovely and golden brown. Let's start to build it. I'll take some of this topping to start placing it just all over. Right now, let's get the cheese on here. I'm going to be using Gruyere here because it just works so well with mushrooms. The finest grate you can get, so it cooks quickly. Then take the cheese and put all over it like that. Touch of black pepper and then return to the grill until the cheese is nice and melted. And there it is, look at this. This lovely long bacon, mushroom and Gruyere crouton. I want to eat it now, but calm down, Andy. So I've got a nice warm bowl here. And I'm going to swirl of this double cream. And then, just because I like it, I'm going to add a little bit of truffle oil as well. I'm going to take some parsley and just cut through it all over. And then take the crouton and just put on the side. And there it is. And the only way to eat this is for me to dunk this in here. You can really taste those chestnut mushrooms and the thyme and the truffle oil really just sends it off at the end. And this crouton, well, grilled cheese with bacon and mushroom. And of course, a lovely crunch.
Pickles And again, we use a Middle Eastern style pickle. We're gonna take our cucumbers, also finely chopped. Now we're gonna lay some of our eggplant.
In large chunks, because later on, I'm going to remove the zest, because we only want that just slight little hint of flavour.